Okay, so you guys just finished up a test on laws of exponents, rules of exponents. The next lesson that we're moving into is factoring. So we're going to take a lot of the what you ended up as your end result when you're working with laws of exponents, and we're going to take it and go backwards, and we're going to get the beginning result, and that's called factoring. So that's the first lesson that we're going to do today. It's 8-1, and it's dealing with factors and greatest common factors. And you know that as GCF. Anything that you see on here are notes, so if you get to a point to where I'm moving too fast, you need to pause it and make sure that you're getting the rest of it down in your notebook. Okay, so the title, hopefully you already have written down. Just want to remind you really quick that a factor is when you have a number, it's the numbers that are being multiplied to get the product. The product is whenever you're multiplying numbers, or your answer whenever you multiply numbers. Go sit down. Okay, and then we have prime factorization. You probably remember this back in 5th grade or 6th grade. You made what's called a factor tree. And basically what you're doing when you're you're doing prime factorization, you're breaking all your numbers down to all factors that are prime. And then you're going to write it in simplified form. So an example of that would be 36. Two numbers that make 36, I'm going to start out with 2 and 6. And not 2 and 6. 2 and 18. Write those down. And I'm making what's called a factor tree. So I'm branching out. 2 is prime, so I can't do anything to that. And just to kind of remind you, if you want to pause this really quick and make a note of this, a prime number is a number that has only 2 factors. So 2 is prime because it has 1 and 2 as the factors. 3 is prime because 1 and 3 are multiplied to make 3. Nothing else. 1 is not prime. That's always a trick question. Is 1 prime or not prime? 1 is not prime because the only factor of 1 is 1. You can say you multiply 1 times 1, but 1 is the only factor of 1. So to be prime, you have to have exactly 2 factors. 6 would not be prime. It's called composite because you multiply 1 times 6 and then 2 times 3. So 2 is prime in this situation, so I'm going to branch off of 18. From there, I'm going to do 2 times 9. Once again, 2 is prime. So let me make another branch off of 9, and that would be 3 times 3, and I've gotten to where I have all prime numbers. So really, I can do 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, and I would get 36. Or if I simplify it, I'm going to use my exponents. I would have 2 squared times 3 squared. And that would be called the prime factorization of 36. Okay, so moving ahead, let's talk about just factoring 12 and 60. Take a minute, pause it, and then factor 12 and 60.